Ah,
Oh, no, not yet.
Wow, this looks nice.
I'm going to take it from the top. Hold on, guys. It's not fair. And go.
Go.
Hey.
That was awesome.
very good.
That
So
was
all of
wonderful.
So from all of us at the Greenburgh Central School District, from the nearly 1,800 students we serve, from the families, from the community, from all of us, we wish you well on this important milestone. We wish you good luck, prosperity. We wish you good health. God bless you, and thank you for all that you've done for our school district. So there are a few people who provided messages, and they've asked me to read their messages. And so I'd like to take a moment to read those messages to the public on behalf of some of our retiring class of 2020. So if you just give me a moment, and I will do just that. But I am going to first give the host credentials back, and then I will read that to you all. All right, I'm not going to spend too much time. I'll change that over in a second. I just want to read those statements so we can move the meeting along. Okay. So the first statement is from Miss Hazel McKinley, and Miss McKinley writes, "First, let me express my thanks to the Greenburgh Central School District for the lovely token of appreciation. It seems not so long ago that I joined the staff at Lee F. Jackson Elementary School, but it's definitely 24 years. I have had the opportunity to work with some of the most awesome professionals. Their integrity was manifested in the way they treated both students and coworkers with dignity and respect. I was truly blessed to be a part of a team so focused and dedicated to the success of all children. As I transition into retirement, there are memories that are indelibly etched in my head, in my mind. The hundreds of beautiful children who were so honest, affectionate, and entertaining. No hug meant so much to me than the hugs from those tiny hands, and no words more sincere than when they said, Miss McKinley, I love you. I hope I have been a positive influence in the lives of those children. I know there are some candles burning brightly somewhere out there that, in my humble way, have helped to ignite. With this assurance, I can say so long with a satisfied mind. In closing, I quote, "Education is not filling a bucket, but lighting a flame," by William Butler Yeats. May God bless Greenburgh Central School District, and may you continue to shape the lives for the future. That's from Ms. McKinley. The next is from Connie Rios. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you all. Thank you, all of you, for a wonderful work experience at the Greenburgh Central School District. I can't believe my 24 years of service has gone so fast. My time at the school has been rewarding. The staff has always been supportive, and I am so proud of the students. I want to thank the district for the beautiful gift. Although I have retired, my heart will always be involved with the district. Again, thank you. Best regards, Constance Brios. The next statement is from Ms. Paulette Lambertson. This is a little message to me. Ms. Lambertson says, "It has been an honor and a privilege to have been part of the Greenburgh Central School District family, and family is in all caps. I have loved my time here, and therefore it never really felt like work. A special thanks to Principal Simone, the Lee F. Jackson teachers I had the opportunity to work with, all LFJ staff, and most importantly, the students who made me feel this way for the past 26 years. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I will miss you." The next message is from Helene Kotler. I would like to thank the Board of Education for the opportunity to serve them these past 29 years. During my tenure, I have seen tremendous change and growth in the district, as well as witnessed firsthand how a community's dedication to their district can help affect change. I have had the privilege of working with so many administrators and colleagues for whom I have the utmost respect and wish them continued success. Dr. Chase. Now, she's my secretary, so I'm just sharing that with you. And she's been my secretary for 7 years. Dr. Chase, I cannot thank you enough for these past 7.5 years. Through your leadership and wisdom, I have seen how one person can make a true difference. You have surrounded yourself with individuals who share your vision and have put this district on a path to become a world-class district. On a personal note, your guidance and friendship these past years have definitely made this day bittersweet. I have the utmost respect for you and all your accomplishments, and look forward to seeing all the wonderful things that lie ahead of you. I'm reading this for the first time. Fondly, Helene Kotler. The next one is from Miss Matterson. Greetings, my Lee F. J. and Greenburgh Central School District family. It is certainly with mixed emotions that I write this statement. While I am excited for this next chapter, I am sad to move on because the last 20 chapters were filled with so much love, so many bonds, and such sweet memories. Over the years, I have had the pleasure of working with so many awesome people who started as merely coworkers and now have become part of my family. I started with so many of my beautiful babies who needed help tying their shoes when we first met, and later came back to give me a hug as they celebrated their college graduation. And she added a heart. Greenburgh CSD helped to mature me as a teacher, mentor, colleague, and team player. I was moved to know that I had played a small part of helping these beautiful students grow into successful men and women, ready to leave their mark on the world. In closing, thank you, Dr. Chase, my birthday twin. Yes, we share birthday, July 18th. Dr. Valenti, and GCSD Board of Ed for your leadership and recognition. Thank you to Mr. James Bell and my GTF union. You all rock. And finally, Miss Simone. I would be here all day sharing our history. I'll just say I was blessed to start my GCSD journey with you at Bailey and blessed to end my tenure with you at Lee F. Jackson with another heart. Due to COVID-19, I wasn't able to spend my last 3 months at a GCSD employee making memories with my family. However, I promise to come back and get all of my hugs that I missed. 2 hearts. Miss Matterson, AKA Matt, AKA Big Mama G. The next one is from Tess Biddle. Hello, Dr. Chase. Please mute my state. Okay. 10 years ago, I applied for a physics position at Woodlands High School. Of my academic background, had the least experience in that area. Nevertheless, Ron Ross and Will Washington saw my worth and hired me. I am so thankful to them. And so began my journey of love at the Greenburgh Central School District. I had the joy of meeting amazing parents and teaching their amazing children. I often told people that one would have to look far and wide to find children the equal of those I encountered at Woodlands, regardless of race and economic status. I am so grateful to have been given the opportunity to share 3 of my great loves, other than my children and grandchildren: chemistry, fencing, and classical guitar. My one sadness is that I could not personally say goodbye to my students and the hardworking staff. Thank you all again as I forward to what Jesus has in store for my next. May God bless you as he has so richly blessed me. Tess Biddle. That's all I have received. If there's anyone who's on this line and sent me something and I didn't get a chance to share, can you please let me know?
Dr. Chase, this is Rosemary Barone. I sent you an email.
Okay, so let me just go back to it. That's what I need to hear. Okay.
Wow.
Is there anyone else? Okay. Got it. I apologize. I have it. Okay. I just see thank you, Dr. Chase. I don't have it.
Well, that was the ending.
Did you send it to Helene or did you send it to me?
I sent it to you and I said that it said Helene asked.
Got it. Helene said, got it. Okay. Miss Barone says, thank you to the Greenburgh Board of Education for honoring me and the other retirees this evening. Educating the students and supporting the families of Greenburgh Central Schools for over 26 years has been my honor. The students and their families will always hold a special place in my heart. Thank you for providing me the opportunity to educate and make memories that will last a lifetime. Have a safe and happy summer. Rosemary Barone. Thank you, Dr. Chase. Thank you all. Thank you all for your commitment and your dedication. Board of Education, I present to you the retiring class of 2020.
Okay, congratulations, retirees. We appreciate all of your dedication, your commitment to our school district, to our students. I will say this, looking at the PowerPoint, I kept thinking, these are some really young retirees, because all of you guys look very youthful. So I was like, I'm not sure they should be retiring, but we do really appreciate your dedication, and you will be very much missed. and you've all left your mark. And so we appreciate all of your service and dedication. So thank you so much. Are there any other board members that would like to say something?
Thank you.
Sure. I've actually volunteered for some of these teachers, and my daughter's gone all the way through the school system with some of these the retirees. I've watched people set up and take down chairs and clean things up. I've seen, I've gone through the whole data access thing. You guys are kind of the heart. Some of you guys you're really the heart and soul of this place, and we're really going to miss you. And I'm not sure how we're going to replace you. Thank you for all you've done.
Thank you, David. Anyone else?
Tricia.
Okay, I am still admitting some. Okay, I see some things in the chat. Congratulations. Hold on for 1 second. Tracy, are you there?
I'm here. You need me?
Yeah, if you could just Miss Carrie is calling because she somehow got bounced out. I just need to help her get back in.
Okay. I'm gonna read what's in the chat. Ms. Simone said, "Congratulations to all of the retirees. I will miss my fabulous teaching assistants and family members. You know you're not leaving us. You are all hired as subs." I said, "Congratulations to every retiree. Thank you for all of your work and thank you for all of your work with and for our children. We truly appreciate you." There's a couple of thank yous. Miss Matterson said, "Thank you so much all." Miss Barone said, "Thank you for this lovely tribute." Paulette, is that Miss Lambertson? Says, "Thank you all." And Ashley Pineda said, "Thank you for all of your hard work and dedication."
A parent wrote to me privately. Congratulations on your amazing career and retirement, Mrs. Brown, from Sarah and family, wishing you all the best.
Oh, I hear Sarah and family saying something. It was very low, Sarah. Can you repeat that? Sarah, are you still there? Okay. Does anyone else have any more congratulations for the retiree? If not, I guess we can move on in the agenda.
Just would like to let all of the retirees know that if you have not done so already, you will receive a beautiful plaque from the Board of Education and the district, basically acknowledging your hard work and your commitment, and it's really our way of saying thanks. Plaques were mailed out to the homes. I know some of you've received already, and again, if you have not, it's coming. If you don't receive it by Monday, July 6th, just send me an email, and Ivy and I will try to solve that mystery to see where it is. It could have gotten lost somewhere in transition. While I have you all, I have to say that many of you I had a chance to just chat with, talk to, hug in my travels. There's one retiree, my own secretary. I will say that when I first arrived at Greenberg, October 19th, 2012, the first person I met was Helene Kotler. And I had no idea that my career would move in the way it did, and that Helene would follow me and be with me for my duration here. And I am going to miss her immensely. We have a relationship that is extra special. She's watched the stresses of the job, she's watched the joys of the job, and she has been there for me through and through, had my back. And the one thing that a superintendent needs is loyalty. And she gave me loyalty for 7.5 years. I'm going to miss her, but I know that our relationship will just continue and it will just look completely different. But it will still remain special. So if Helene, if you are listening, I want to tell you that I am going to miss you. I thank you for having my back and the back of the district and doing all the wonderful things that you've done for the time I arrived on October 19th, 2012. I'll never forget that first encounter.
Hello?
We hear you, Miss Carey.
Oh, you hear me? Then tell Laser that he can stop calling then. Thank you.
Okay, here's, thank you. Glad you got back in, Miss Carey.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, well, if anybody doesn't have anything else to say, any well wishes to our retirees, again, Miss Simone.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I got logged off before, but right before I was logged off, I did send a chat, and I know that Ms. Mears read it. But my heart is bittersweet tonight. I'm so proud of the 4 teaching assistants and all of the retirees. I know each and every one of you on such different levels. And my teaching assistants, my family, my teachers, you've acted in so many different capacities that you will be missed. You're not going away so fast. You know, we had this conversation. I told you, you only could retire if you promise you're going to come back as a sub. And you know, you're always welcome. And I just love every single one of you. So good luck, and we will talk soon. We're going to have a real celebration, hopefully sooner than later.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. With that being said, we are now going to move into our public comments. Again, if you are making a comment, if you can just say your name and ensure that just that we can hear your name loud and clear, and that's it. So I'm not sure order-wise, but I guess I'll take a look at, let me see. No, I'm actually about to say something in a different sort of meeting that I've used. So I'm going to say, let's see if you guys can just put hands up, or does someone have a question? Let me see how I can manage it this way. Now I know there's someone that has to have a question. Okay. Hearing no questions, we're going to move on to policy review. All right, so board, did everyone get an opportunity to look at the 2 policies that we had for review?
Yes.
All right, does anybody have any questions or any comments?
There's no issue with the policy itself. One of them talks about our having to have a hotline for students who you either have an incident in a domestic setting or an incident at school, and there's supposed to be a hotline put up on our website, and I want to make sure that that hotline is put up in an accessible place. So that's something that goes on the to-do list. And then the other thing is the second policy that we're looking at. We have that emergency management plan, and it's fulfilling the requirements, but we haven't been able to have like safety committee meetings or any kind of real committee meetings on a regular basis. So at the minimum, the version of the safety plan that we've got posted on the district website should have the personnel updated, so that you have the current team up there. So in case anybody's trying to contact anybody, they have the right names. So if there's some way we can do that, I know we have to have a public hearing to do it, but if there's some way we can get that done as quickly as possible, that would be a wonderful thing.
I'm sorry, Mr. Warner, repeat that again. I just want to jot that down so I can just share that with the PR team.
There's an emergency management plan. We have a safety committee that's, supposed to go over it. But there's a listing of all the team members at the beginning. And there are members on that team that are no longer with us.
Okay.
So we need to put the new names up there. So if anybody looks at our district-wide emergency management plan, they're looking for the right people.
No worries. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, to add to that, I believe, Ashley, you can chime in. I believe that was something that the safety committee, we spoke about earlier in the year, probably like after the first or second meeting. Notes were taken and they were shared. So we just need to make sure that change does happen. But that was something we identified really early on. Dr. Chase, I'm guessing now, as far as that emergency, that phone number where someone can call in, that is not like posted in the schools as of yet. And so that's something that we can easily, I guess, be able to add and distribute within the school so that it's visible, and that we will also have it on our website too.
Oh, trust me, there will be a lot of postings in the schools when it finally does open.
Okay. All right. Did any other board members have any questions or any concerns about these two policies?
No.
All right. So at this point, where the buck stops with us right now, so it has been reviewed by administration and also our lawyers at the same time. Okay, so we can move forward with this. I mean, unless anybody does not agree, we can move forward with these two policies.
Yes.
Yes, let's move forward.
All right. All right. Now, since we finished policy review, we are now going to adjourn to executive session. So, can I get a motion to adjourn to the executive session to discuss the employment history of particular persons being considered for board action this evening?
So moved.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me pause for a second. My mistake. Dr. Chase, I believe that there was other questions that we received in an email. Do you have your responses?
Are you talking about the questions that came from Kiana Washington?
Yeah, you said there was some questions that you were able to respond to.
Yeah, let me just pull up those questions.
Thank you.
Are those questions for this meeting, or were those questions just sent to you to answer as the board president in an email?
Let me see.
Because some of the questions are personnel and related, and they're very inappropriate to discuss publicly.
Well, I guess my expectation that you would read, the ones that are appropriate. They were sent.
That's why I asked you the question. Which one is it? Is it for you to answer in an email, or were they for open for public discussion? I don't know. I don't know the nature in which they were sent because I didn't see the original email.
Well, I forwarded it to you, so there was all board members on it. When I realized that you were not on there, I forwarded to you so that you can respond.
Well, if there's questions to be answered, let's go on and answer them. Let's talk about them, whatever they are.
So
we can move on.
So my question to you, Madam President, the email starts off with, I'm writing this email so you can give me more insight on some of my concerns with the school district. What I'm asking is, this, the intention was to discuss it here, correct? Or was that just an email sent to you? There's a difference.
Okay, so for me, the email was not just sent to me. The email was sent to, unless I'm seeing something different, the email had all board members on there.
No, I got that. I guess
Okay.
I think my question is this an email, because typically we get emails from the community, or is this an email that specifies, here's a question I have for Tuesday's night's meeting?
So with the dialogue that we had via email,
Okay.
I think I said explicitly, just be prepared to respond to the questions that you
All right.
can tonight.
All right, let's go. The first question reads, when speaking to a parent of a 2020 Woodlands High School graduate at the Greenberg Rally for Justice, I was told that Superintendent Dr. Tahira Dupree Chase was not present at the 2020 Woodlands High School graduation. Is this true? Well, we didn't have a traditional graduation. And yeah, it's not true. I wasn't there. I actually gave an electronic video message as the principal asked me to. The next question. It was also stated that there was no representation from central office. Is that true? The purpose of the graduation is to adhere to social distancing. So the invitations to the graduation was minimized this year for that very purpose. And no, I don't believe there were central office folk there, but I can verify that. The next question, how many high school graduations has the superintendent missed? Please list the years. I am very concerned about this because this is a historic time in our community. With the pandemic and the unrest in America, we need all levels of leadership to be present so our students see that our leadership truly cares about them. I think my presence at graduation doesn't necessarily demonstrate whether or not I care about my kids. I honestly believe that the kids in this district know that I care about them. They know it, they tell me, and they can see it demonstrated through my actions more so than my words. And so, no, I was not there last year. And this year we have a pandemic, and so it was a different format. And for full...
Dr. Chase, if I may point out, as a central administrator, there was no invitation received.
No, that was done on purpose. He wanted to adhere to social distancing, and so there were no invitations issued to anyone, and that was done on purpose. Yeah. So is there, and I'm glad we did, because as we know, there was one particular school district, unfortunately, that had a cluster of the virus as a result of social gathering. So kudos to Mr. Smith for that forward thinking. Is it true that a couple of days before graduation, the superintendent of Greenberg Central School District was on the school grounds conducting an interview with CNN? So I did, and it aired internationally. The school district received wonderful comments about the CNN. So I'm so happy that I was there. But also while I was there on campus, I also filmed my graduation speech for Highview Elementary School. I was also in my office. So yes, while I was there, I multitasked that day that I was actually on campus and on the grounds. And there were important documents that I, as a superintendent, needed to sign that day.
Hi, excuse me, Board President Antoinette. This is Kiana Washington. And as Dr. Chase is reading the questions, Dr. Chase, I believe you're taking them very personal. So I'm going to ask you if you can just bring your tone down, because I do have a concern about you missing graduation for 3 consecutive years. It does show action. So that's why I'm asking the question. So you are a superintendent. So please answer them. I am a community member and I do have concerns. Thank you.
Madam President, how do you wish for me to continue with these questions? Do you wish for me to continue to answer the questions?
I wish for you to answer the questions that you deem to be appropriate to respond to.
Thank you. How many absences does the superintendent have from the time she became superintendent to present? please research that information. I don't think that the board is, nor will I disclose my personnel matters. Anyone who has any questions about my whereabouts or what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, they're more than welcome to have a conversation with me. I'm very open to that. But I don't think it's.
Oh, yes, that question wasn't directed to you, Dr. Chase. That question was to the board president so that they could do their due diligence for community members. Yes, I understand.
That's why I asked which questions are appropriate for this meeting. But the sixth question, the number 6 question reads, during the Greenberg Rally for Justice that was spearheaded by Woodlands High School graduates at Greenberg Town Hall, there was no representation from Greenberg Central School District admin or the Greenberg Central School District Board of Education members. There was a part of the program that they asked for Greenberg School District representation, and there was no one to speak of the district's behalf. What happened? Tracy Mears did walk with the community, and I saw Terry Williams beep his horn at us. Where was everyone else? Where was admin? And then it continues by stating, there was an African-American female superintendent from Hastings that came and spoke about education. It was embarrassing because she thought more of Greenberg than our own African-American female superintendent. Even the mayor of Mount Vernon came.
So at least I can reply to part of that. I can say that I was late getting to the rally. I did find out about the rally. And so I tried to attend. I was a little late though. And so I did go to the walk. And it was a great rally for equality in our Greenberg community.
And Madam President, may I just say that I didn't find out about it until the day of. And that's when Tracy called and asked if I wanted her to pick me up, and I was not prepared to go, so that's why I wasn't there.
Yes, I too was not aware in advance enough notice for me to attend as well. But I do appreciate, I know Terry, I know Tracy was there as, you know, a parent and a community member, but I do appreciate her being there as well. Terry, your hand is up.
Yes, thank you. I've had it up for a while, but thank you for acknowledging me. A couple of things. First of all, regarding many of these questions, let me just address number 5, since it was addressed to the board. I've been on the board for a long time now. I've been on the board at the entire time that Dr. Chase has been with us. I've served as president when she was the superintendent. I am unconcerned about Dr. Chase's attendance here. She has never been absent. She's never had any unexcused absences. So I can tell you from my perspective, both as a board member and as a president, she is always here and accountable when she's supposed to be here. Anytime that she is not here, it is with reason that she has articulated either in writing or to me as board president. So I have no issue with that. As far as the Greenberg Justice for Rally for Justice, this is not a school event. Now, I attended a bunch of other rallies, but I don't need to say that to anybody because what I do with my personal time, and if I may speak for my colleagues, what they do with their personal time is their business. It just so happens that I attended some other rallies, and you know what, Ms. Washington, I didn't see you there at those other rallies. We can pick and choose what we decide to support, but the overarching theme here is this was on our time, and we have a right to use our time as we see fit. And to suggest that that some of us are unconcerned about the macro issue facing us, or certainly the fact that some of our children did a very excellent job in expressing their frustrations with the current situation, is in no way indication of a lack of support on our part. I will give all of my colleagues on this board the benefit of my doubt or the benefit of my ignorance that they had something otherwise to do. Either they didn't get the information in a timely manner, or they had other things to do. Because if nothing else with my colleagues, we are all here present and accountable when we're supposed to be. So to suggest otherwise is unacceptable.
Thank you, Terry Williams. So my question was posed because there was a
If nothing else with my colleagues, we are all here present and accountable when we're supposed to be. So to suggest otherwise is unacceptable.
Thank you, Terry Williams. So my question
Does not say that there was a specific part of the program. But if there were a specific part of the program, that would imply that something would have been mailed to either Dr. Chase or to the board president or the board vice president. I certainly
well,
didn't
the
receive
statement
anything.
that was made during the rally after they asked for the Greenberg representative, they said in the microphone, and we emailed them, and no one's here to represent. That was stated. So that's why I was asking the question.
Emails are traceable. If you want to trace my emails on that,
Well,
feel
I don't
free.
think,
No, I don't need your personal, I don't need to personally trace you, Terry Williams. It was addressed to the administration and the board.
yeah, I can speak for myself. I don't, as board president, I did not see an invitation come in via email. So maybe that as far as my information, maybe that person that just didn't have the current board president's email, but I didn't receive an invitation directly. I didn't see one come in.
So I'd like to continue with the question.
Thank you, board president, for just clarifying that. I appreciate that.
There were several rallies in Greenberg where there were individuals who actually called me, reached out to me personally, and I shared with them my unfortunate decline as to why I could not attend. I just want to be clear to the community who is watching this, who is listening to this, because the question does indicate a sense of embarrassment that one superintendent thought enough of Greenberg, and our own African-American female superintendent was not there. I am very much so aware of my ethnicity and my my sexual category, and I have attended so many other events with our students via the technology because it is most appropriate for me right now to attend it in that way.
Madam President.
Why summer school, Governor Cuomo signed an executive order in early June allowing schools to open for in-person instruction to service.
Excuse me, Madam President.
Ms. Carey, hold on.
I do not appreciate being talked over. I've been saying Madam President for the last 3 minutes. But I would like to say something, please. And this is getting on my nerves.
Miss Carey, I heard you. I tried to quietly say hold on, Miss Carey, because I didn't want to interrupt Dr. Chase while she was speaking.
Well, Dr. Chase was quiet and it was my turn. She overtalked me.
I didn't hear her. Miss Carey, I apologize. I didn't hear you.
Now, I just wanted to say this. The community is concerned. They have a right to be concerned. They have a right to convey their concern to this board. It is up to us to make a decision as to how we're going to handle it, if we're going to handle it. But there's no sense in people becoming personally involved in situations that sometimes can be explained and explained away because they are legitimate. So I am saying to you, let us move on and let us understand that the community are the bosses. They pay the taxes, so they can ask questions. We can answer them as we see fit or not, but they have a right to ask those questions. And I would appreciate it if we all understood that.
Can I just add that I did receive, can I just add that I did receive several communications from different community members when I was late to the event, because I think those different community members had concern because there was, I guess, school representation from 2 other districts. So people, and I literally live on the same street as Town Hall, as do some of the other trustees. So I did get communications from at least 3, off the top of my head, community members, and that helped me to rush out of the house quicker to get to the walk. So yes, I do think that some of our community was concerned. So I will echo that as well. I agree with what Mr. Williams said in that it is our personal time, but I also agree that we do have a governmental relations responsibility as being trustees, as well as community engagement responsibility. And so I try to make sure when I am available, you're right, it is our personal time, but when I am available, I do try to make sure to be active and involved. So thank you for bringing that question to light, Ms. Washington.
Thank you, Tracy. Dr. Chase,
Okay.
I know you were still talking.
Yep, so I'm gonna repeat number 7. Number 7 speaks to the ESY summer school program, and it reads, Governor Cuomo signed an executive order in early June allowing schools to open for in-person instruction to service special education students. When asked about this, Dr. Chase told a reporter from CNN that GCSD had to take a pass because one reason is that I don't have enough staff. The next reason, I don't have the therapists to provide the services that these children need, end quote. If Dr. Chase does not have the staff, why did the board hire 11 special education teachers and 7 substitute for the ESY program? Also, weren't therapists providing services to the students who have state mandated IEPs during the remote learning via teletherapy? Why not continue this form of therapy for the ESY summer program? Either Dr. Chase does not understand the full scope of what is going on in the district, or her statements are invalid. So, number 1, just for clarity, I never ever said to a reporter that we took a pass. The reporter said that, and the reporter summarized that statement in that conversation that I had with him. That's first and foremost. And we did not have enough therapists nor enough teachers to do in-person instruction. So we hired people to do remote instruction. And so we will conduct our ESY program remotely. This is why these individuals were hired. Before the Board of Ed minutes dated June 17th, 2020 were revised, there were 11 teachers hired for the ESY summer school program. The list of these teachers reflects a lack of diversity in Greenburgh Central School District's hiring practices. Who is the administrator responsible for interviewing the candidates and eventually hiring them for ESY summer school program? Well, we have a summer school principal that we hired already. That's Mr. James Della Cava, who is a teacher at Bailey Elementary School, and Jill Post, our director for PPS. They're responsible for hiring. We've had people who are not necessarily comfortable with in-person instruction, and we had people who were very much so comfortable. They did an interview process and they hired people based on the needs of the students and completing and making sure that we can meet their needs as per their IEP. So they did their own vetting for hiring the appropriate people to match the students who qualify for ESY. The 8th question asks—
Dr. Chase, before you go to the 8th question, can I ask a couple of questions about the hiring process for summer school?
Sure.
So you said that they did their own vetting. Is the summer school hiring open to all teachers and staff members to apply?
Yes, there is a posting. So people have the right to post into the position.
Okay. And so they would receive an inquiry or an application and then they contact all of those people to interview, or is it similar to a position where you look for the most qualified and then you call in maybe 5 and then you interview those? How exactly do they narrow down the applicants?
So what I will do is I will ask Jill Post to give me the exact process that she took, that she and Della Cava took, and I will put that in this week's packet for you.
Okay, thank you.
The 8th question asks, can you explain the difference of duties and responsibilities between PLC lead teachers and PLC team leaders? There are 13 PLC team leaders and 6 PLC leaders. Hold on, let me repeat this because I want to make sure I do this right. I apologize. There are 13 PLC team leaders and 16 PLC leaders being recommended for stipend positions. How many candidates applied for these positions, and was there diversity in the candidate pool? Have all of these teachers received official PLC training? Dr. Valenti, can you tackle some of that and I will fill in the rest?
Sure. The organizational arrangement for the PLC, starting at the Woodlands Middle High School, is that each department has their own PLC/lead teacher. And that is in the GTF contract as well. And so you will have one for English, one for math, science, social studies. We consolidated a little bit this year with respect to PE, health education, the arts and technology. We combined that to one specials group, and that would be its own PLC for the coming school year. And then in addition to that, we have world languages. The individuals appointed, I believe, are on the board resolution. I think that you can see certain names reoccurring because they've done a fine job. We're only committed to annual appointments, no obligation to reappoint, but the names are there, and I won't go into each individual name now. But that's the organizational at the top. When you come down to the elementary level from pre-K to 6, then you generally get into PLCs by grade level. So your second grade will have a PLC, third grade, fourth, so you can estimate the number of PLC leaders there. And then you also have the arts as well as some other key areas that we do engage PLC leaders in. And then on top of that, there is a PPS PLC leader district-wide. So when you add them all up, every group, including reading, as a matter of fact, meets on a regular basis. The district has a structure for that meeting, generally outside the school day, beginning with the middle high school after the end of the 8th period. And generally those meetings are at least once monthly, if not more often. And we do have PLCs that meet more than once in our elementary schools.
Thank you. All right, there's two more questions. Lori, it says, no, I apologize. It says L. DeAndrea is being recommended for the position of literacy specialist. This will be her 4th year in this position. Have any other candidates applied for this position? L. DeAndrea is being recommended the stipend position of PLC team leader for reading K-6. Could this not be absorbed through the position of literacy specialist and consolidated, being since she already receives a monthly stipend of $1,000 per month, especially when the district is being fiscally conservative with the budget? Dr. V, can you take that one?
Sure. Lori DeAndrea is now a full-time literacy specialist, and her responsibility has been expanded from pre-K to 6 to pre-K to 8 at no additional cost to the district. In addition to that, she is also the Teacher Center Director, and those funds do not come from general fund, they come from special act funds. Thirdly, in terms of Lori's work as a literacy specialist, she not only is pre-K to 8, but she is responsible for Fontes and Pinnell. She's responsible for in-part the ALP testing. So she picks up a number of residual jobs along the way. And I suspect next year, with the elimination of certain director positions, she will be picking up more in the literature literacy area. So is there another the PLC reading? That happened subsequent to her being hired as a literacy specialist. I should also point out that she is the mentor coordinator, and that is not on the agenda because we don't know how many mentees we are going to have for mentoring support. But quite frankly, she does an enormous amount of work. And the answer is no, we have not had other candidates apply for the position because by general acquiescence, the faculty says, we can't do it better than she.
Yeah, and she's great at what she does.
No.
And needed. Lastly, I am concerned about a pre-K teacher making $130,000. Were interviews conducted for both the pre-K and the high school math position? Who were the candidates? Please research to make sure the hiring process was done legally. While I will not comment on this particular personnel matter per se, but I will say the district follows its policies and procedures to the letter. And I also, well, I'll leave it at that. The district follows its processes to the letter.
I'm sorry, were you done with the questions, Dr. Chase?
Yes.
I see that Joe Post logged in, or at least that she's here right now. Her name is there. I wanted my questions answered about the summer school process for interviewing and finding staff.
So can you just ask your question again? Because I don't think she was on when you asked the question originally.
I see her name. I'm not sure she's here fully.
Her name is there, but can you just repeat the question so that she'll...
Okay, sure. Well, I don't know if you want to read Ms. Washington's question directly, and then I can elaborate with my questions.
I gotta go back to it.
I'm on the Zoom. I don't know where it is. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You don't have it. I have it.
Okay.
So I'm going to read it again, that particular question.
Sure.
Can you find it?
Okay, I can start with my
I got
question.
it.
Oh, okay.
I got it. And it's question number 7. It's titled ESY/summer school. The question reads again. Governor Cuomo signed an executive order in early June allowing schools to open for in-person instruction to service special education students. When asked about this, Dr. Chase told the reporter from CNN that GCSD had to take a pass. Because one reason is that I don't have enough staff. The next reason, I don't have the therapists to provide the services that these children need, end quote. If Dr. Chase does not have the staff, why did the Board of Education hire 11 special education teachers and 7 substitutes for the ESY program? Also, weren't therapists providing services to students who have state mandated IEPs during the remote learning via teletherapy? Why not continue this form of therapy for ESY summer school program? Either Dr. Chase does not understand the full scope of what's going on in the district, or her statements are invalid. So Ms. Post, just for your own information, I clarified my quote to CNN because that is not an accurate assessment of my quote, and so I clarified that. In addition, I also shared with the public that we are going full virtual for our ESY program, and that we hired teachers to do the virtual ESY as well as therapy. Ms. Mayers had further questions, but there's another part to that ESY, and so I just want to read that other part to you. Before the board minutes dated June 17th, 2020 were revised, there were 11 teachers hired for the ESY summer school program. The list of these teachers reflects a lack of diversity in Greenburgh Central School District's hiring practices. Who is the administrator responsible for interviewing the candidates and eventually hiring them for the ESY summer school program?
Yes, that was the question I wanted to hear. So my question, thank you for rereading that part. My question was about the interview process for hiring summer school staff. Dr. Chase explained that we did not have enough staff that were willing to come in. But I did want to know what the process was for hiring. Dr. Chase explained that the positions had been posted. And my question, my first question was, are all of the applicants who apply interviewed? And what is that process for hiring?
So we do, James Delacava is the appointed principal for the summer school. He and I were asked to interview. We interviewed all the candidates who had the relevant certification for special education. So we did not interview a few candidates who did not have special education certification, because the only non-special education position is one at the preschool level. So we did interview that teacher. She was hired and she was the only one who applied as general education and pre-K. Every other candidate, I believe we interviewed 25 candidates of probably 30 who applied. There could have been a few more, but we interviewed every teaching assistant and every teacher who applied that had appropriate certification.
Okay, thank you. And so you interviewed 25. Do you know how many you did not interview?
There were probably 4 or 5 teachers who did not have the correct certification. They did not have special education certification.
Okay, thank you. And for the upcoming year, are we looking at, we don't know how we will return in the fall, but are we looking at options to ensure that sorry, they're quiet when I'm not speaking. Are we looking at options to ensure that we will have enough teachers to bring the children back that want or need to come back? I'm very
that conversation is just starting. I don't have an answer for that. That is a Dr. Chase, question really at this point.
Okay, because I'm very concerned about our special education children.
Sure.
I know some personally as being a parent and living here, but also I know that having a young child myself, they are severely affected across the country, right? When they're not physically in the classroom directly. Every parent, every family does not have the resources and services to help them at home. So I know you guys are on it, but I'm just going to ask to really get on it even more so to try to make sure that we either find additional teachers, substitutes, additional bodies to help bring our children into the schools and to give them the services that they need.
I agree 100%. I agree with you 100%.
All right, that's it.
Antoinette, you there?
I'm sorry, Terry, I thought I saw your hand up.
Never mind. Let's just move forward.
Okay, all right, without any more questions, can I get a motion to adjourn to the executive session to discuss the employment history of particular persons being considered for board action this evening and at the next meeting?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'm sorry, hold for a second. Is that Ms. Carey, was that you?
Yeah, I have a question about something. I don't know if it's a closed session item or not. I'm talking about the grid that we got for the people working in the summer, the administrators for August and September. Does everyone know what I'm talking about?
If that is the vacation calendar, that might be better.
Yeah.
Executive session.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, so I think I asked for a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we are going into executive session. If everyone who knows that they don't belong here, if you could please hang up or log out, it'll make it easier as I also remove members from this meeting. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. All right, let me go through. All right, we're back in open session. We are now at C, personnel instructional. All right. So is there any questions about this is the work session C, the first one at all? Any questions about instructional?
Antoinette, Terry has his hand up.
I'm sorry, Terry, I couldn't see because I got board docs open here. Hold on.
That's okay. That's why you have a teammate in Tracy to help you. So great teamwork there.
I see. Wait,
I just want to
I
say,
still don't have it. I still can't see you. Okay, I see you.
I just want to say with regard to instructional C1, I would not accept the retirement of Jonathan Lewis. He is too young. He does too good a job. But since I really have no say in that, I just want to say he's been a great asset to our district, to our children, and we're going to miss him. And I'm jealous that he's retiring, but I wish him a happy retirement.
Can I second that? And can I also say, I hope this is one of those retirements that we hire him to come back and do special projects or to fill in from time to time, because I hope to see his face.
All right. I guess everybody.
And I'm gonna say thank you for all of the help with all the WISE students.
All right. Okay, thank you. I have the same sentiments as everybody else. I was a bit surprised. Okay, so I'm sorry, everybody. We are actually moving to the work session. I gotta remember that. We're actually moving to board action.
Right, item E.
Yep, item E, board action. We have the, does anybody have any questions at all about the repair reserve fund? Oh. Nope, okay. So Ivy, am I reading this now, all the whereas?
No, you're just, normally what you do is ask if anyone has questions on the different items.
Yeah. All right, anybody has questions on our repair reserve fund? All right, on the memorandum of agreement for CSEA. Same for, I thought I heard somebody. Okay, the same for memorandum of agreement for GAO. All right. Memorandum of agreement for GCSO. Okay, the unaffiliated employees COVID-19 school closure. Any questions on that? Any questions on the contract for Aramark?
Yeah, now I have a question on that real quick. If we're not having a summer school program, why are we going to agree to a contract with Aramark for the summer?
Madam President, would you like me to answer that?
Please, Mary, I would appreciate that.
We are going to provide meals to the families for the summer.
You mean going to that, like you did, going to the houses, wherever they go?
No, with exception, it's going to be pickup.
Oh, okay. And that'll be all advertised, right?
Yes, it will.
where the pickups are?
Yes, it was actually sent home to parents. It's posted on our social media. It was sent home to parents before the last day of school. So it was widely circulated.
That was on IG, right? I think I saw like a
IG,
little.
it's on FD, yeah. So it's widely circulated.
Right, just make sure everybody realizes everybody doesn't have access to social media. And because, you put it in email or text messages or whatever, some people don't have that and they don't get it. And that's why I always ask if these people have been, there were other ways for them to be able to get the information besides on a computer or telephone.
Okay. All right, so let's go, let's see, down to, did I just say that was Miss Carrie. The tax warrant, does anybody have any questions? Curriculum contract for Westchester Prep LLC.
Yeah, I have a question about that.
Okay.
Is that the actual cost, $1?
So no, the actual cost is free, but no, the actual cost is several thousands of dollars, but we were able to negotiate it for $1. Westchester Prep, out of the kindness of their heart, will be extending their work to our students through the October ACT, SAT. They've started a nice little momentum with our kids, an online version. And this is another example of a community partnership that shows that they care. And they'll be providing this service to all the students who qualify for $1.
Okay, and I'm just curious, do you know how many of our students currently participate in this?
It's a class full. What I'll do is I'll get you the exact number. Hope to put it in Friday's packet, just so the board knows. Friday packet is probably going to be given to you tomorrow. So if you don't get it from me tomorrow, I'll give it to you the next couple of days. But it's a class full of students.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I'll make sure to get that number for you.
All right.
Okay, hold on, everyone. I'm just reading something else. Okay, so tax warrant, curriculum, Westchester Prep, and now we have the secret administration building.
So I have a question on that.
Okay, so Ashley and then David.
So I mentioned it earlier that there is a reference to the Historic Preservation Society here. This amendment, this resolution is written in a way where we are still sending that information to the Historic Preservation Society. And I thought I had read that they wanted us to not use the asphalt shingles that we had voted on using. So with that said, I'm not sure if we should be voting on this or if we should be tabling it while we get clarification. I don't know the right route to take. All I know is that this doesn't look like we should be doing it at this point.
I agree. I saw David and then Terry's hand up, Antoinette.
Yes. So David?
I didn't put my hand up. Basically, I think that we should go on with the project.
Okay. Terry?
Yeah, I agree with David. And this is the other thing, folks. We have to, is Mary still here? Yeah, good. She's still here. And I only called on you, Mary, because I think you know this information better than I do. But basically, we as the agency, if you will, we're the ones who have to go out and seek for the preservation. Why, you know what? It's too bad we don't have our attorney on right now.
It's not an automatic. Is that what you're saying? Like, oh, because they say it that we have to.
Thank you. That's
Is that what you're saying, Jerry?
Exactly. That yes. Just because they raise it doesn't mean it has any merit. You know, we could. You know, look. Let me just give you a bad example here. I live in a house that was once owned by Moms Mabley. It is a nondescript house. There's nothing special about this place. Actually, the people who bought it from Moms put it in the shape that it is in today. if somebody wants to make my house a national monument, they cannot do that. They can't do that. The fact that they might want to, while interesting, is not, and you said it much more eloquently than I did, Antoinette, but they don't have the right to do that. Mary, can you opine on that and illuminate a bit?
I know that the attorneys wrote the resolution for you. I know that it has been, that questioned it. I have not gotten a response back from BBS, but if you do not approve the SECR resolution, we can't move forward with the project.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Terry, question for clarification. Was that, with the example that you used, is that a true example? Are you really living in the house that Mom's Mabley used to live in?
I am truly living in the house that Mom's Mabley lived in.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, wow.
Please, it's nothing special. Trust
That
me.
is special.
All it
Wow.
is a good conversation starter. Trust me. Trust me.
Okay.
Ashley's hands up, Antoinette.
Yes, Ashley.
Thank you. So my challenge here is the last paragraph of this resolution reads, the board shall forward an official copy of this resolution to the New York State Ed Department together with a copy of the correspondence with the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Prevention. The way this resolution is written to me, unless I'm misunderstanding it, makes it sound like we are going to go ahead and do that. That's my concern with this.
Right.
Well, my concern is that if we don't do it, if we don't approve moving forward with this, then it can be deferred for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Now, I just feel that we need to move on with this, and as someone mentioned, that this may not be something that we have to do. But I mean, as far as I would love to see it to become a preserved historical building. But that can come later. But I believe we have to move on with this. Because if we don't, we're just going to put it off and something else is going to come up and we're going to have to talk about that for 3 hours and 90 minutes. And by the time we get around to it, I probably won't be here and you all will be so old you won't know what's happening anyway. So I think we need to move on with this. So I say yes.
Okay. I just text
Ashley's got his hand up again.
Ashley, go ahead.
Could I make a motion that we amend this resolution and just take out the part about historic prevention so we can move this forward?
I will agree with that.
I agree with that.
Antoinette, I have my hand up.
Terry.
Yeah, I would not agree with that. And folks, this is something, I think Mary mentioned that this was something that our attorneys vetted and they were involved in. And that makes me nervous given our attorney signed off on this. I'll leave it at that.
And I mean, I think the fact that the fact of it is that even if we send the correspondence, it doesn't mean that, Terry, you'll chime in. It doesn't mean that, hey, if they sent a letter and say, hey, did you use the roof that we suggested? Is there some sort of consequence that will follow? Again, it's really it feels like it's not something that they are enforcing upon us, but they do want us to share a copy of this resolution with them.
And I have no problem sharing it with them, but I think that we should follow our attorney's lead on this.
Yeah. Okay.
I asked this question when we talked to the VBS architects. What we don't have is a written piece of paper that says what they told us verbally, which is, we've been through this process before, and this asphalt roof is an acceptable alternative in most cases if you want to go after a historical monument status.
It's still acceptable, it's just not what they would prefer.
Right.
All right, yeah, so I think we should move forward. Tracy, I'm sorry.
I was trying to clarify if we were tabling it or not. Got confused.
We're not tabling it.
Not.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any questions on the PPS contract with Achieve Beyond? Okay, the PPS contract on Holistic Learning Center. The PPS contract with SAIL Outreach Service. The PPS contract for Therapeutic Horizons. Same PPS contract with Westchester Therapy Solutions. PPS stipulation of settlement. Okay. PPS committee recommendations. Okay, so now we're up to review agenda items for the next meeting. So as you can see, for our next meeting, which is we do have to talk about our reorganization meeting as well. You see a list of all of the annual appointments. All right. Okay, you see for 29, the Committee on Preschool Special Education. The SWSCHP representative. Any questions on that? And that's the State Schools Cooperative Health Plan. Okay, authorization for bonding, for petty cash funds, for mileage reimbursement for travel expenses, use of facility rates, use of Woodlands High School Fitness Center, rates of pay, designation. So we have official depository of school funds. We have the newspaper required for legal notice, which is the Journal News, Asbestos Hazard Emergency Relief Act. We have several determinations, district policies, Board of Education meetings, temporary appointments, conference attendance. And we have conference approvals, impartial hearing officers. Now we're on to board action minutes.
Where are you?
I'm on the board, I forget what page this is, but board action minutes, right above the finance treasury report, Miss Carrie. For me.
You left me in the dust. I'm gotta find it.
That's item F2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, and then we have the finance warrant report for May. Okay, we have curriculum contract Leslie Levine. Bid America Minority Business Forms. We have a bid for Chase Press. Bid for Erico Landscaping Corp. Contract for Jaspin Schlesinger LLP. Health Services contract for Bronxville UFSD. Health contract, service contract for East Ramaposi SD. Same for Yonkers Public Schools. RFP for John Tobin and Company. And that is that. And certiorari settlement. We have them for 15 certiorari, for 14 there was a certiorari C19. Okay, now we are up to approvals. Okay, so Ivy, for approvals, I have a request to poll the board on C19, C21, and D2. Ashley,
And we also do E9.
and E9, Ashley. So C19, C21, D2, and you said E9, Ashley?
Yes, E9, please.
Madam President, can you have them, have Ivy read out the things that we're going to vote on independently, because I forgot which was. I know I'm voting no on a couple.
Ivy, could you make sure you do that?
Yes.
Okay, so. All right, so I am at.
Wait a minute now. We said we're gonna, you did go say we're going to be voting on H, the Metropolis Country Club request.
Yeah, that should be in, let me scroll back down.
That's all we at the bottom.
Yeah, that should be in our closing items.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So right now we're doing the approvals first.
Okay.
All right, so Ivy, when I'm saying this, I'm just saying all of this except for personnel items, except for C19 and C21.
Correct.
All right, so can I get a motion to approve the instructional personnel items except for items C19 and C21 presented to the board for approval this evening?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that motion carries. Now, Ivy, do you want to do the polling right now since we're right there?
You have to do now you'll do a separate motion for C19.
Okay, so, well, oh, I still say the motion and then you'll poll anyway, Ivy?
Yes, when you read the motion, then I'll pull the board.
Okay, motion to approve the instructional personnel item C19 to the board for approval this evening.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Discussion.
Okay, let me
Thank you.
pause discussion.
Thank you. Could you just read the specific information, Antoinette, what C19 is?
Okay, I'm just getting myself back up to that. I'm on two different computers.
I know how it is. I'm like that as well.
Okay, so C19, let me make sure that is right. Yes, okay, so C19 is the appointment for lead teachers and why can't I talk? PLC leaders.
Thank you.
So that's what that one is.
And I had some concern about this. There is administrator input. It's not all volunteer for some of these lead teacher roles in PLC, which I understand to be professional learning development training that the teachers get. And these are respected and coveted positions, I think, being a lead teacher. And I noticed that out of the 6 teachers that are here, we only have 1 lead teacher that is of color. And I think that in a district like this that is very diverse, I think in this particular building, of lead teachers. This is our most diverse building of teaching staff. It concerns me that we only have 1 of 6 teachers of any color, of any minority class. So I just think in these times of awareness and support for equality, I think we really need to think about supporting giving teachers of color lead roles sometimes and seeing how that works as well. And so I just wanted to bring that up when it comes to lead teachers for PLCs.
All right, thank you, Tracy. Ivy, does anybody else have any further discussion? Okay. All right, so okay, so Ivy, can you poll the board?
Yes.
Thank you.
On the motion to approve item C19, the lead teachers, PLC leaders, Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Mr. Pineda,
Yes.
Dr. Dragic,
Yes.
Ms. Mayers,
Yes.
Ms. Carey,
Abstain.
Ms. Darden Cintron.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Okay, so can I get a motion to approve the instructional personnel item C21?
There is no C.
C21, yep.
It's new.
B21 is the old B1.
No, so I said earlier that Ivy added C21, so if you refresh board docs, it comes up on there. So it's C21.
All right, hold on.
No problem. Tony, if you can't find it, you want me to take a picture and text it to you so you can see it?
Okay, this is all right, hold on. I got it.
Got it? Okay.
Oh, yes, okay.
Okay, so I don't think I finished saying it. So I'll do it one more time. Motion to approve the instructional personnel item C21 presented to the board for approval this evening.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Ivy, can you poll the board?
Yes, on item C, instructional item C21, that's the appointment of Dr. Valenti. Ms. Carey,
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
Ivy, do you have the specific language for that resolution?
Yes, I have it listed. You should be able to see the resolution if you
Do you
refresh
want me
the screen.
to text it to you? All right, hold on. I'm gonna.
You can't see it, Tanya?
No, I got it. I got it. I was, okay. Yes, all right, thank you.
So on the motion, Ms. Mayers,
No.
Dr. Drummond,
Yes.
Mr. Pineda,
Yes.
Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Darden Cintron,
Yes.
motion is carried.
All right, I'm moving on to the next one. Hold on for a second. All right. All right, let's see. So I got this in the right place. So now we're on to non-instructional personnel items. 1 second, guys, I'm sorry. I'm just going back and forth between these things. Okay. I'm on this side here. All right, motion to approve the non-instructional personnel items except for D2 presented to the board for approval this evening.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion?
Yes.
Great.
So the discussion is that as a board member, I'm torn about this one because I did not, in our discussions, I did not hear,
Tracy, I think this is for all of them except the one that I think you're referring to.
thank you, because I totally am tired and missed that. Thank you. I don't have any discussion.
Okay. Ivy, can you please pull the board?
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I
I heard two people about to say something.
No, you got it.
It's everything except D2.
Everything except 2.
Okay.
Yes.
And E2 is the thing that somebody asked that there be a poll.
Yeah.
So we don't need to poll for everything except D2.
Yeah, we're doing everything except D2. Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, any abstentions? The motion carries. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm thinking we already approved everything other than D2.
Yeah.
All right. So now can we get a motion to approve the non-instructional personnel item D2 to the board for approval this evening?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
Okay, now is there any discussion?
Yes, I had some concern about D2 board as a trustee because while I agree that there is need for administrative support, I feel like I did not get specifics on the amount of time. So because of that, I wanted there to be some or any discussion, and I needed for it to be pulled.
All right. Anyone else? Okay, Ivy, can you pull the board on D2?
Okay, on the motion to approve non-instructional item D2, that's the appointment of Ms. Cotler. Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Warner?
Yes.
Ms. Pineda?
Yes.
Dr. Dragic?
Yes.
Ms. Mayers?
I abstain.
Ms. Carey? Ms. Carey?
No.
Ms. Darden Town?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
All right, next one. Let's see. Okay. So the next one is, let's see. Can I get a motion to approve the board action item, sorry. Can I get a motion to approve the board action items except for E9 presented to the board for approval this evening?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I oppose. Oh, I'm on the wrong one again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's late.
So,
I'm
and
in
let's
favor.
say that part again. Is there any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Let me go back again now. Motion to approve the board action item E9 presented to the board for approval this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Second, discussion.
I'm sorry, Ashley's hand was up.
I'm sorry, I can't, my screen.
I
is not
realized
big.
that. Sorry, Ashley's
All
hand.
right, Ashley?
No worries. I just wanted to make the comment on this one. We already talked about it, and it's 12:39, so I'm not going to sit here and talk about it for another 10 minutes. My only concern here, I already mentioned, is I get the attorneys approved this already. I'm not sure if maybe the attorneys were clear on, maybe we didn't give them enough guidance, perhaps, as to what our specific request was. So that's the only reason that I think that sometimes that cannot be properly communicated. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and vote the way I'm going to vote on this one. Thanks.
Okay. All right, that is fine. I guess the only thing, no, you know what, doesn't matter. That's fine, Ashley, thank you. All right. So Ivy, can you now pull the board, please?
Yes, on the board action item E9, that is the seeker of the administration building. Ms. Carey,
Yes.
Ms. Mayers,
No.
Dr. Dragic,
Yes.
Mr. Pineda,
No.
Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Darden Cintron,
Yes.
motion's carried.
Okay, so now we're moving on to closing items, the Metropolis County Club request. Ivy, if I'm stating it wrong or I'm missing something, just let me know, but pretty much they need to test, is it water or test the ground? And they need to use part of our property to do that?
The letter that they provided is requesting to be on our property to monitor the wetlands.
Yes.
Yeah, what, I tried to look at the map that they gave us, but, you know, I'm not a good map reader, so I still don't know where they're going to be on the campus and what they're going to be doing and where they're going to be doing it. So does anybody have any idea?
I don't, Mary, I'm not sure if you've gotten this information directly or you you may have some information on it, or Dr. Chase at all.
The only thing I received was from Mr. Falcone was the letter that we forwarded to the board.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Yeah.
And it had a picture attached to it, but it didn't show where they were going to be. At least I didn't see that anywhere.
Well, you can look at the football field and try and figure out where things are relative to that.
Well, you see, David, what did I just get finished saying? Didn't I say I don't know how to read maps? I don't. Not those kind anyway. And I don't know where the football field is, on that map. So that's why I'm concerned about where it's going to be, how big the, how big the area is that they're going to be putting their instruments in, and and how long is it going to take?
Well, if you were to come into the, but via the backside of the Woodlands campus, that is coming off of Central Avenue to the back roads of Pinewood and all that, and then you follow your driveway, and you pass the driveway that would peel off and go to the football field on your right, and you make a curve around to the left. There's a pond on your right-hand side. Okay, they want to go straight back behind that pond, and they're close to the borderline of their property, but straight back from that pond.
Oh, I think I know where that is. Okay, so you don't actually know what they're going to do, except they want to measure the wetlands, how much water is in there?
It sounds like they're going to be putting some kind of a device there that monitors, I guess, water levels or something. I mean, it all seems very innocuous.
Yes, I think I know where that is. Okay, so you don't actually know what they're going to do, except they want to measure the wetlands, how much water is in there?
It sounds like they're going to be putting some kind of a device there that monitors, I guess, water levels or something. I mean, it all seems very
For 3 days.
innocuous.
Yes, I think I know where that is.
So,
Okay, so you don't actually know what they're going to do, except they want to measure the wetlands, how much water is in there?
It sounds like they're going to be putting some kind of a device there that monitors, I guess, water levels or something. I mean, it all seems very
For 3 days.
innocuous.
It's called a piezometer, and it has a 1.5 inch diameter pipe that they basically drive into the sediment. So it doesn't sound like there will be any sort. It sounds like they'll just pound it in, and then it monitors
Sample for 3
whatever it
days, and
monitors.
throw it back out.
Yeah.
Well, is it going to be a water runoff? Does anybody know if it's going to be a water runoff? And if so, is it going to be running off on our property or what?
Pipe that they basically drive into the sediment. So it doesn't sound like there will be any sort. It sounds like they'll just pound it in, and then it monitors whatever it monitors. Yeah. Why is there an echo?
It's going to be a water runoff? And if so, is it going to be running off on our property or what?
Pipe. They basically drive into the sediment. So it doesn't sound like there will be any sort. It sounds like they'll just pound it in, and then it monitors whatever it monitors.
They don't want to have an impact to our surface water when they pump water out of their test well. So they're going to pump water on their property and see if it does anything to our pond. Pretty much.
It doesn't sound like there will be any sort.
so, I mean, so my question is, it sounds like there's a lot of questions still, even though this has been around, we need to sort of move forward on it, but we are, unless I'm off, we're literally meeting sometime like next week. So if people are uncomfortable, we can get more information possibly in regards to the specifics.
I'm not uncomfortable.
And
I'm not either. I think it all sounds very benign.
so that,
Good.
so you're good with moving forward today?
Yeah.
All right, so. All right, so we're agreed, we're gonna move forward. I mean, I don't know, what does, there's not a well, let me see. I'm sorry, let me not speak.
Please have an authorized, if you agree, please have an authorized representative of the property owner sign the attached access permission form.
Yeah,
And return the form to WSP at 4 Research Drive.
that's what we're doing. So we're in agreement with this?
Look, all I know is that they're going to be doing something on our property, well, on the property of the campus, and I don't know what it is that they're going to be doing because they haven't actually showed us or let us know what they're going to be doing. Now, somebody said a pipe's going in the sediment. I don't know what that pipe's going to do. I don't think anybody does, and I'm just leery of it. That's all. That's just the way I am. I don't know what somebody's doing. I mean, you know, I'm not going to be that anxious to say, yeah, go ahead and do it, folks.
All right, well, Ms. Carey, listen, I understand that. I just know that this is something that we
So,
needed to address. Tanya?
yeah, so you can Google this piezometer. I don't know how you pronounce it. And you get all kinds of images for these things. And it's essentially just a long pipe that's driven into the ground. I don't know exactly how long it is. It looks like it's maybe somewhere between a foot and 2 feet long.
Piezometer?
So you can. It looks like.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, a piezometer is either a device used to measure liquid pressure in a system by measuring the height to which a column of the liquid rises against gravity, or a device which measures the pressure, more precisely the piezometric head of groundwater at a specific point.
Can I ask a question?
Tracy?
I understand the location is near the football field, but I also understand that there was some concern about the soil that is there at that location. And am I talking about the correct location, that there was some issue with the soil?
No, it's completely on the other side.
Oh, okay. And I still don't know what we're talking about. But I just wanted to make sure that if it's something going deep into the ground, that it's not going to disrupt any soil or anything.
Okay, so is there any other discussion on this? Because I'm got to have a motion. All right, is there a motion to approve the Metropolis Country Club's request to access the district's property to conduct water level monitoring and authorize the board president to sign their permission form?
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries.
I do have one question. I'm fine with supporting it. My question is, if there is something that does go wrong, I talked about the soil, only because I remember early on there was some discussion about some dumping of soil, and then issue. Why you make that face, David? You guys.
Oh no, the light has dawned. Now I know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Thank
and now
you.
I know why it's at the other side of the football field.
Okay, all right. So, but that's what I was talking about, because there was some dumping of soil at one point, and so
Go for fields.
Okay, but if something else goes wrong, is that covered under the golf course, or is that covered for us to remediate if some issue arises? I think Ashley's hands up, Antoinette.
Ashley?
So the agreement that is written by that company actually says that they are insured for any occurrences. I forget the exact verbiage. It has specific language. It says,
I was just looking at it and I didn't know.
WSP has successfully completed similar monitoring programs without incident in other nearby wetlands and is adequately insured in the event of any unforeseen difficulty.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Board retreat.
I think Terry had his hand up, Antoinette.
Terry?
No, I was just going to say, Tracy, that WSP is one of the biggest infrastructure engineering firms in the world. So they typically have all the liability insurance, and this is not a fly-by-night operation, I guess is what I'm saying to you. The concerns you raise are real and important, but we're not dealing with a fly-by-night organization here.
Okay.
Right. Thank you. Board retreat.
Oh.
We just need a date.
Didn't we vaguely agree on, what was it, July 18? What was that?
But I think Dr. Chase said she was not available.
Oh, right.
July.
Did we agree on? Oh, I don't know. I thought, okay.
You want to
No,
do August
Tracy.
1st instead?
July 11th is fine. July 11th, I think you had two dates. You had, one was the
That's
11th,
right.
one was the 18th.
Okay.
July 11th is fine with me.
7-11.
It depends on what time I have class on Saturdays.
Oh, when does your class end?
It's from 8:30 to 4 o'clock.
Can we do a Sunday, like the 12th? Is everyone okay with Sunday? Is anyone not
I
okay?
can.
with Sunday?
I'm okay with Sunday.
Is anyone not okay with Sunday, the 12th?
Hours?
Okay. Wait, David, were you saying something?
I said, what hours do you want to do it?
Yeah. Dr. Chase, I know you have something, well, Dr. Chase, I know you have an idea for us to do. Do you know how long that training would be?
Well, first, it's now July 1st.
Oh, yeah.
I would have to get a trainer, and it has to be something that everybody's willing to do. I just want to make another suggestion.
Okay.
All that's going on right now in terms of reopening school, possible remote learning continuing, there are some things that I am going to kindly ask the board to consider, and that is take a look at your policies. Will your policies support what our new normal could possibly look like? What we do know is that school is not going to look the same way it did September 2019. We do know that. So there might be some things that we could either relax, amend, and take a look at as it relates to policies to support what we probably will need to have in place for school district if we are to bring our children back. So that might be something, a nice exercise for us to engage. Just a recommendation. In addition, you do have goals that you need to complete. I know that it was always the desire of the school board to have those goals in place before school actually opens. This could be the beginning of that exercise as well.
So
Committee assignments?
yeah, so let's say maybe for this one should be the basics, policy, goals, committee assignments.
And can we talk about the reopening of school?
And reopening, and then maybe we'll see if we can do, we should try for one in August, Dr. Chase, and then maybe we can tackle the one you're talking about, the focus you're speaking about as far as
you're talking about with inequities and cultural responsiveness. I think by the fall we'll be better poised to have that, because July 11th is only in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So with these items here, and something just popped out of my, also I wanted to have the lawyers available as well to go over some rules of the road. So yes. Hey, Tanya, I see you.
Yeah, so I'm just, so the superintendent just mentioned reopening, and so that reminded me of that long letter that she sent us regarding the committees.
Yeah.
And so would that be on July 11th? Because it sounded like it was pretty urgent to get those going ASAP.
The committee part, I'm assuming, like, we are also meeting.
The first meeting.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Tracy?
I'm sorry, July 6th is the first. I didn't realize I was unmuted, sorry. But July 6th is the first meeting, I think, in that email where everyone.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Can call on.
And that's fine. And that's next week. What I'm asking, and Tanya, I'm gonna address what you're saying. But right now, because this is some of like, other than the reopening part of this is a lot of like the back to basics items. I'm hoping and assuming we can do this in a shorter time frame, maybe 3 hours tops for these items here, because we're talking about goals, committee, board policies. Dr. Chase, I am gonna ask if admin can help, because I think you've already probably begun to think about some of the reopening things. So if you guys can help identify any policies that we should pull, or or see if we can update them in some sort of way to address reopening of schools, I think that would be helpful.
Okay.
So we have these back to basics things. This looks like this could be a 3-hour thing. Does that change anyone's thoughts in regards to I'm sorry, in regards to date and time?
What time are we talking about?
What if it's on a Sunday, I can do whatever. If it's on what class is that?
You want to do 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. or something like that?
3 hours, David. Like one.
Yeah, if that's what you think.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Dr. Chase, or would you be okay with a Sunday, like the 1 to 4? 3 hours.
So I respect your 3-hour time frame, but I'm going to agree with Mr. Warner. There's no way we're going to be able to cover all those things in 3 hours, but I think you should give yourself a little bit more time. So a 10 to 2.
Okay. A 10 to 2. Anyone is who's okay with that?
I'm fine with that. Would that be through Zoom, obviously, right?
Unless somebody tells us something different. And you'll know why I said, because that is an item that we also have to address as well. Because pretty much going into something else without closing this one out, Ivy pointed out that the governor's executive order about virtual meetings, I believe we have our reorg meeting for the 7th, which is a Tuesday, just trying to keep in line with our normal Tuesdays. But the executive order, I believe, ends on the 6th. If we don't get another executive order saying, hey, he's extending it. From what the lawyers are saying, and open meetings are saying that I think it says through the 6th. So they're saying if it's on the 6th, then that's okay. We can still meet virtually. But if we get an executive order that changes that, we have to meet in person. So for the 12th, I say that to say if the 12th comes, there's a possibility we will need to be in person.
Oh, excuse me.
So Sunday the 12th at 10 to 2, who is that okay for?
Where's the location? Did you tell me the location?
Well, right now it's virtual. If it's not virtual, I think we should be at a place where we could spread out and social distance. Dr. Chase, if that does happen, would we be able on a day like that, let's say to meet in the, let's say, cafeteria, and we are social distance? Would that be okay to be in a school building on a Sunday?
I would need more clarification before I give a definitive answer publicly. I think that
I guess maybe I'm not saying it right. So from what is said, the executive order right now says that you can Ivy can even clean it up more for me. From what I understand, me and Ivy's conversation, it stops through the 6th with meeting, not in person, having virtual meetings.
Right, for now it does. Mhm.
For now it does. Of course, we can get an executive order that extends that. We're operating, if the executive order comes back and either one, we don't hear anything, it still ends on the 6th, or if he comes back and says, no, go back to meeting regularly, then what I'm asking is, I'm trying to figure out what the alternative is. If we do have to meet in person, would it be okay to meet on a Sunday in a place like, one of the school's cafeterias where we can spread out and socially distance ourselves?
I mean, you can actually do what you want to do. I mean, if it's recommended, that's a different story. But keep in mind that we will have to pay our staff to open it up, clean it up. We are paying them double time because it is a Sunday. Just want to make sure that the board is aware of that. And I don't know, even if he doesn't issue an executive order, does a retreat have to be in person, or is it recommended that a retreat is in person? A retreat is not a board meeting, so I'm just wondering if there's a different stipulation for that in terms of how you meet.
Okay, that's interesting. So, okay, so for right now, let's say.
Ivy's got her hand up.
Oh, Ivy, please.
The items that you want to talk about are technically not board retreat items. They are board meeting. I would have to notice it as a special board meeting.
Okay.
Retreat, you can call it whatever you want, but a retreat that doesn't get noticed and you can have it wherever you want is when you're talking about team building and things of that nature. But the items on the agenda that you're speaking about need to be noticed as a special meeting.
Okay, so I guess for now, what we could do is we can still settle on the 12th. We can say 10 to 2. And then Ivy, I guess Mary, I guess if you could be able to tell us what that would look like financially if we did it within the district. Ivy, you can see if there are any places outside of the district that we can hold something for that amount of time that would allow us to social distance, so we can see the costs, comparing the costs of doing it in the district or outside of the district.
I can look at some salaries and what it would cost.
Okay, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. Ivy, are you good on your end?
Yes.
Okay, so we have Sunday the 12th for now. Dr. Chase said we can do the culturally responsive training in the fall sometime. So right now the items are board policy, goals, committees, and reopening. So that's one thing. All right, great. All right, new business items is a couple of things. One, now we're going to our reorg meeting. So again, the reorg meeting, the 6th, if we change it to the 6th, which is a Monday, it keeps us safe in the executive order because it says through July 6th. Or again, we can keep it Tuesday, July 7th with the idea that if we do keep it, if it is July 7th, and if we do get an executive order to no longer meet virtually, we will have to meet in person, social distance. So do you want to keep it July 7th or do you want to change it to Monday, July 6th?
Monday, July 6th. Dr. Chase's.
Yeah, Monday is the meeting for the reopening.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! I'm sorry, Dr. Chase. So we remain We remain the 7th.
I mean, I don't know what time the phone call is. Is it at
I
5?
think it's 5 or 6 o'clock. And it's
July
90
6
minutes.
p.m. Zoom call.
Yes,
Meeting will be up to 90 minutes in length
90
and will
minutes.
include every
Yep.
member of every committee.
Yeah, I don't think we could do that night.
All right, so we're keeping it July 7th. We just need to be prepared if it's executive order comes out saying something differently. I mean, literally, we're talking about next week, so my guess is that's not happening, but who knows? So, okay.
What time?
The reorg.
It's the 7th?
I am so tired.
Ivy, it's 7, right?
Yes, it would be 7. It would be your annual organization, and then you go into your regular meeting.
Yep.
Okay.
So 7. Okay. And I feel like that is it. Ivy, am I forgetting anything?
He has his hand up, Antoinette.
Who? I'm sorry. Ashley? Ashley.
So I raised this earlier. I'm going to raise it again because it's an open session item. At times, the board receives disrespectful email or experiences disrespectful conduct by the public at in-person meetings. What do we as a unified board plan on doing about this behavior? We are all volunteers and we deserve to be treated respectfully.
I think I mean, for me, I think what jumps out of my head is that we should lead by example at all times. I think that when it happens, I don't know about via email, but like in person, when it happens, we could, pause, like if it's happening like at our, let's say through public comments, we could recess our meeting and ask, we can, or me as a board president can ask that person to please, be more respectful. And if it continues to rise and get out of hand, then we can recess the meeting, give a pause, and then come back and start again. And so maybe sort of like a stop kind of puts people on notice and allows everyone to gather themselves and come back and to be more respectful. Those are some of my ideas off the top of my head at this time. Does anybody else have anything?
Yeah, it's very late, but I just wanted to remind Mary to send me the information about our insurance policy. I actually looked on board docs earlier. I couldn't find our insurance policy, so I'd like to see a copy of it, and I'd also like to know, how much, if anything, they will cover of that tree and electric work that we had done a couple of weeks ago.
I can tell you, we have reached out to the insurance company. We believe that a portion of it will be covered. We just don't have the dollar amount as of yet. Mr. Falcone is waiting for a call back.
Okay.
So we are working on it.
Who is our insurance company?
Nicer.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have anything else to add in regards to what Ashley brought up? Does anybody need time to come, to brainstorm some ideas and share it at a later date?
Other than you state the rules up front at the beginning of the meeting and remind everybody what they are, so that if the person steps out of bounds on the rules, it's apparent to the public that they're trying to appeal to that they're doing the wrong thing. You always are consistent with setting the rules at the beginning of the meeting. And then after that, you basically do what Antoinette has already said, which is you try and rein things in as best you can. And if you can't, you stop the meeting.
I like that idea. Sorry, were you done, David?
Yeah.
I like that idea to be very clear about the rules and expectations, but I also think that we can look at our own expectations or our communication with the public so that people feel like they have a healthy place to communicate. With switching to everything online in the emergency and COVID, we kind of stopped the public input as far as live public input, and we asked everyone to email us and such. And I don't know if that played a role in some of the recent things that we received or not. So maybe when we do go back, if we do go back in person, people will come back, face to face and be less disrespectful. I hope I'm making sense. It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
That makes sense, Tracy. Okay, that's all I have. Is there any other new business? Okay, hearing none, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Please get some rest. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Carrie. Good morning.
Good night, everyone.